Welcome to the StockManor.com studios here in the Black Hills of South Dakota. I'm your StockManor, Brian Johnson, making professional trading simple and a little bit of a bounce. Can we call it a bounce? I don't know yet. I'm not quite convinced quite yet, but we are really close to that mark. I think we're potentially on the way, but I have not got the confirmation I want yet. Why is that? Well, I mean, we had a good strong close. We had a good strong move today, but as I refresh, I'm looking at the daily thing. I worked with Student all day long, so for those of you that send emails, I'm sorry I wasn't able to get back to them, but I will by this evening. And anyway, we did not close above this 10 200 level, this, especially the 10 250 is really what I'm watching here on the Dow. So yes, we had a nice move up today. Dow up 118, S&P up 15, NASDAQ up 23. So everything about 1 to 1.5%. That's a decent move on the day. And I love the fact that we have broken out of this little channel we were in and we're hanging above it. I really do think that we're on our way up to a more concerted up move or bounce, as you will, in the markets. Not sure if we see it right away. Maybe we don't see it tomorrow morning. Maybe we see a little bit of a pullback and it hangs along this line for a while. Or if it can get above the 10,200 and more importantly, as I said, 10,250, that would for sure get me a little bit more bullish on the markets in the short term, just the short term, not the longer term. Still neutral to bearish in the longer term. But we are expecting a bounce. I think we're about to get one. We'll be watching this very closely. Moving on to the daily, you can see that here we had that big move down. Today, though, started the week off pretty well. Still not above that level I really want to be at, but this is a pretty good effort by the bulls to get it back up to at least this level. Small bites, start slowly, work your way up. We'll see if we can get any kind of follow through and continue with this tomorrow and maybe even over the next few days. So I did call for a bounce this weekend, either Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, and I'm still not convinced this is quote unquote the bounce. So let's give it another day or so to really work its way out. Any break below this 10,000 level or back even down to the 10,000 level tells me that obviously the bounce isn't quite here yet. So we're going to wait and see if that works itself out over the next couple days. Here's the NASDAQ on a 60-minute. And you can see had a pretty good move up here, but right back into overhead resistance at the 20-period moving average. Very logical place to end the day. And as I said, still not enough confirmation for me yet to call this what could be the more major bounce. Still looking for a bounce back up to these higher levels here in the Nasdaq. It would be up here towards this 1800 area to 1820, 25 area. I think eventually we can get back up there. Like I said, still a little early to tell if this is the beginning of that yet or not. So small move up by the Nasdaq today. It was the lagger. It was trailing behind everything else, but we do have a good start by the bulls. Watching this one coming into tomorrow. NASDAQ on a weekly, not going to worry about it. We do have the 20-week moving average to deal with. That is 1773, I believe is what that number is there. So keep that in mind as we push forward. Even though it is not at the end of the week, it should still act as overhead resistance once we get to that level. So for you that play the NASDAQ or play the Qs, you'll be wanting to watch that 20-week moving average to make sure it can get up and over that. SPX on a 60-minute, same type of thing that we saw on the Dow. See how it broke that little channel it's been in for a while, and it stayed above it. Here's that 1085 mark I told you about. We managed to get above that and stay just above that most of the day before finally getting kind of an end of the day pop to the markets. Gotta work on this 50-period moving average. I would really still like to see it up over 1095 before I start getting, a little bit more, ooh, hey, I think this is the bigger bounce. But man, this is a really good start. I love this type of a setup where it breaks up over this resistance area like it did here. Not only 1085, which should and was strong resistance for most of the day. It danced around there for quite a while. But over this channel line as well. It held there for a length of time, and now it's up and above it. More importantly, closed back above 1085. That's important. Daily standpoint, here's the big turnaround right here. Back up and above that orange line, which is that 1085 area. So still very happy there, but I need a little bit more confirmation. Still looking for a break above 1095 to kind of get my mindset into a larger bounce in the markets. That target being either 1115 to the 1130 mark on the next bounce here. SPX on a weekly, once again, got to get above the 20-day moving average, which is 1080, well, 1088.91. So it looks like we did squeak above that today. That's a good start once again for the bulls. But it's Monday, long way to go. Anything can happen before we get to the end of the week. VIX moving back down, so going to give us an opportunity maybe if you're an options buyer. You might get an opportunity here over the next few days to get in on some more options at a little lower premium because of the VIX falling out of the market. Very common. That's exactly what we should see. As the markets move up, we should see fear come out of the markets, and maybe we can get another try at this if the VIX can get back down into this area here. By the time the markets make it back up to those little higher levels of overhead resistance.